Nice burp, buddy. Hi,
Thanks.
everyone. How's it going?
Great
It's
timing.
Summit 3 NA qualifier. We're in phase number 2. It's our second series today. We weren't here for series 1 because, well, we had problems, but those problems seem to have been subsided for now.
We got crabs.
We got crabs. Unfortunately, I can't bring up the crabs right now. But
Where's that production suite when you need it? But game 1, a long game, but pretty good. Very interesting. If the teams play similarly in game 2, I don't see any way that Wheel are going to be able to take this. It just felt like they were kind of outpicked, and it felt like they were just kind of outplayed. They didn't seem to be on the same page there. We saw a great example of that with that swap into lasso debacle. They were on the same team and broke their own lasso, stuff like that. Just it seemed like Wheel just weren't really communicating on the same level that Leviathan were.
Well, maybe that's where we're going to see the difference in play. Leviathan being in a gamer house in Florida right now, and Wheel using Mike as stand-in, and well, a particular group of players who are probably playing from all different parts of the world. I mean, I know like Fanasoy or Goody is playing from a whole different region, so we'll have to see. Let's get into the draft, though. That's what's most important here, and away we go. So with this matchup right now, Wheel Wreck while whistling, taking on Leviathan. They open up with a 1-2 punch of Clockwork and Lion, an IX Mike Clockwork, I'd imagine. Leviathan now, they pick up Vengeful Spirit. No Bat Rider this time. No Pudge once more. That Respect Pudge ban always going to be there for them, it feels, as they also ban out the Respect Omni Knight that Wheel love to go for. They then ban Sniper thereafter, and if they'd like, they could pick up Shibby a Shadow Fiend here, something that he does run from time to time, but it's going to be the Troll.
There it is.
Can't pass up on a Troll. Certainly cannot.
There's just not enough bans in the pool. I think the 2 bans that Wheel put out make a lot of sense. Very potent picks, but the Troll Warlord, that's, as we talked about in game 1, Shredder's comfort zone. Even before the Troll was cool, the hip new thing, Shredder was still making people's lives difficult with that hero. So I like this opener. Wheel, they have a good opener. Clockwork Lion, nothing wrong with it. Sniper's been banned out, but a comfort hero for Mike. It just doesn't seem quite as scary as Avenged Troll. You've got a lot of Roche control, even being Radiant side, just one little smoke, maybe a medallion in there, and that Troll's going to be claiming down the Roche.
10 seconds remaining.
We'll see if they'll have the luxury to do so. Moving into the next set of bans, Leviathan once again look to remove the PL. While Wheel get rid of the Quap this time. Lena's still being in there. The Lion still being in there. Plenty of pew-pew, plenty of bursts that Leviathan could still go for if they wanted to go down that road again. But for now, just kind of thinking long and hard about this. There's not many answers out there right now for your Troll Warlord if they're looking to kind of just get rid of anything that could be the potential.
I mean, what is the answer to Troll? The answer to it just feels like just don't let
Winter
him
Wyvern.
do what he does.
Is like one of the best options you can ask for, but
that's true.
Not in captain's mode right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Some teams have reached for someone who can kind of take the man fight as well. They like more elusive pickups. Maybe some teams have even reached for a Viper even just to try their best to kind of slow him down a bit. But it can be very tricky.
I mean, Viper, any lane dominator is good in the laning phase. Viper, Razor, the 2 classics. Sure, those are good against Troll if you can square up in a 1v1 or a 2v2. But once you get towards that mid-game when he's just running around clearing out the jungle and towards the late game when he's got some of those items, the only way to beat him is to have someone who's out-farming him or, just locking him down so he can't get those fervor stacks and lifesteal into oblivion.
Yeah, being able to punish the Troll in the laning phase seems to be a big thing too.
It does help.
Not allowing him to really be able to snowball out of control. And Wheel are very comfortable with Troll. They know what to expect. Sleesel plays a lot of Troll Warlord. He knows exactly what he wants to go for. Leviathan's Troll, though, we'll have to see if it's something that, we see every day, your particular, like, Helm of the Dominator, Sage and Yasha, such and so forth, or if they kind of have their own twist on the Troll that they're looking to kind of unveil here.
Well, Wheel thinking hard about this third pick. Their draft very open-ended at this point, so they can take it almost any way they want. They've already got a fair bit of control, great initiator with the Clockwork, wonderful support there on the Lion. What comes to mind? What's Relic going to play this game? Wind Ranger still in the pool? Maybe something they consider, though I don't think they usually pick it up this early on. Probably not likely to be grabbed by Leviathan, so at the very least will be a 4th pick.
The thing is at this point in the draft, you're not really revealing a whole lot. I mean, for someone like Wheel, or at least more often than not when Mike is on the roster, they like to prioritize his off lane first and foremost, whether it be a bat quick grab or something like this Clockwork.
Well, he doesn't exactly have the biggest pool.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has a couple of heroes he plays, but it can be a bit trendy. You know, Doom, Clockwork. He used to play a lot of Centaur War Runner. And more often than not, Bat Rider seems to be something. But his Clockwork still, I would imagine, holds a 70 to 80% win rate, so he definitely has plenty of wins under his belt with it. Knows what he's doing. Is
it really that high?
It is really high.
It's
yes.
still that high. Okay.
I think so. Right. I mean, well, what was their matchup? It was in Star Ladder now. They took on a really tough opponent. I think it was Team Tinker. And he had one hell of a Clockwork game in game number 2, where they actually took him to a 3-game stretch. It was really impressive. So you got to give Mike credit for that one.
Yeah.
But yeah, for this early in the draft, aside from getting a hold of something like your Clockwork offlaner, now you build into your support play here. You get Lion, you get Witch Doctor. Also, doesn't really put a lot out there, but yeah.
They just need some big damage. I mean, last game they just got out carried. I mean, that was a 60-minute game, and towards the end, we saw what happened once the Bristle hit critical mass. There comes a point where he does fall off, where even the tanky raid boss just gets kited around, and you don't match up with those serious right clickers. And here they haven't picked their cores yet, but you need somebody big to go against the troll. And here they do the opposite. Okay, they want pushing power. They'll try to end this game out sooner rather than later. This is risky. I like that they're taking a risk here, but could this be a Pugna 5th pick?
No, dude, no. I would love it.
Hey, with the Death Prophet, some pushing power. I think that's not the craziest suggestion. Of all the times we brought up Pugna, this is a game where it could fit. Pretty good against the Troll, double-edged sword against the Lena, but you've got that Nether Ward down, so if she's foolish enough to blast somebody with it nearby, it'll return a huge amount of damage. If they want to push, Pugna could work for Wheel. But this Leviathan draft, much more standard and much more scary. Already some great synergy between the Troll and the Vengers we talked about, but great synergy between the Troll and the Lena, the Fiery Souls, or whatever the hell it's called. The Fiery Soul mixed with the Battle Trance. Machine Gun Lena is not fun to play against. Not the scariest thing ever, but it does hurt.
Oh, I got a fun little tidbit here from our last matchup because we had so many Lincolns. There had to be something funny about it. So I got not Mopx. That's Phage Guy here. Let me know. We've seen a Lincolns in 21% of games during 6.83, with 45% of those games having more than one Lincolns. And by comparison, Lincolns was brought in 32% of games in 6.82, and with 39% of those games having more than one Lincoln's bot. So it's a lot of numbers.
That was a mouthful, dude.
That was a lot of numbers, but 20
so basically, people
time.
buy more Lincolns on this patch than they did last patch.
Yes.
Is that a safe
and when you get a Lincolns, usually there's some to follow.
Okay, so
but 3, come on.
So you're fairly likely if a team buys one Lincolns on this patch, there's about a 50% chance the team will at least get a second Lincolns. And when you get a third one, that's when you're delving.
Well, he did add a side note here that games with more than one Lincolns could also mean that it's a 1 on the Radiant, 1 on the Dire. So
okay,
not necessarily
all right.
the
So
same
that's okay. Let's throw that one out and. Okay, great.
I don't know if we'll see Lincolns this game. We'll find out, though, I guess. So moving forward.
Disruptor here for Leviathan. Some more good team fight, good utility.
Yeah, prevents a Clockwork jumps in on your ass. You can send him right back to where he came from. A good way to kind of get a silence off to stop someone like Witch Doctor from getting a prominent death ward off from afar. And Kinetic Field can obviously be great for crowd control. So it's not more of a direct counter like you see Disruptor maybe picked up against your olden days, your Tinker, your Wisp, but good against any of the spirits in the game. But they're just putting a lot more onto that. It used to be, if I remember correctly, the old roster for Leviathan used to have Sunken as a support player, and he was a huge Disruptor player, but maybe just something they like to kind of keep into their arsenal here. Their last ban, of course, they get rid of the Jug, which could have been something that we were anticipating. Sleesel does love playing that Jug, but this should be Sleesel's pick here, the last and final one.
Yeah, I did kind of forget about the Jug. He would have been great here. The Healing Ward gives you a lot of sustainability. You've already got the Witch Doctor there with his Voodoo Restoration to heal people up. Yeah, Jug would have been great, actually.
Is it a Razor kind of a game? Are we going to go all the way back to TI4? I mean, it would be either a side lane Death Prophet or Razor at that point, which isn't the strangest thing ever.
Yeah, safe lane Razor is okay. Pugna still comes to mind. Who else can push? I mean, Dragonite can push very well if they want to
Dragonite. That hero's still in the game?
I mean, I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel here. I feel like they need somebody.
Don't get me wrong. Relic used to play a dirty
Spectre.
Dragonite, but okay, the Spectre are going to get picked up here. Doesn't offer a whole lot as far as pushing goes, but
peculiar.
What it does help, what is nice about it is that if they are able to take those objectives early on with your Death Prophet, then Spectre benefits from all that huge gold.
I mean, yeah, no doubt about
swell,
that.
but-
And now when you look towards late game, the issue here, though, is Leviathan can see this and go, okay, are we confident in our Troll scoring up against their Spectre late game? If the answer is yes, then they take a great tempo controller here, something that adds a lot of team fight.
We're thinking an Undying.
Yeah, oh. that would be
Undying is
scary.
like one of those heroes that obviously can fall off, but he can punish people like Spectre in the laning phase real hard.
Yeah, that's true. Or they could just bring it all together with a nice team fighter, like a Tide or someone with a Ravage like that. Or they can go a more carry-focused route. Take something like Bristleback, who can kind of double as a core and do a lot of damage, as well as helping to buff up that Troll a little bit. But they take the Broodmother, so a nice happy medium, a tempo controller that can also do something late game if she gets a lot of momentum. But that'll be your Jenkins pickup. Always fun to see a Broodmother.
Now, what do they have to deal with this Broodmother? Crypt Swarm can certainly help with the anti-push and eliminating the brood babies. Witch Doctor Cat, Lion. This is tricky here. I kind of worry here for Wheel. It seems like a pretty solid game for your Brood to do as she wants here. And I anticipate more of just your traditional off-lane Brood. They could go aggro if they really want to punish the Spectre early on, but more than likely, Jenkins looking to play himself in that off-lane get-up. And then Shredder could be aided about from, your Vengeful Spirit Disruptor duo. Okay, so there it is. Game number 2, Wheel taking on Leviathan, and it is Leviathan who already have the 1-game advantage.
I will be honest here, KotLGuy. I think this Leviathan draft is just a little bit more scary. Partially because we know there's a lot of comfort picks here. The Shredder Troll, the Shibby Lina, 2 heroes, 2 cores at that they're very comfortable and well practiced with, but the Wheel draft just feels much more difficult to execute to me. We've got this Spectre Death Prophet duo that I thought with the Death Prophet, they'd want to push pretty hard and try and end this game before the Troll really gets big, and now, well, we've got some late game security, but Spectre is really not that great at sieging towers, so it feels like they've got a little bit of everything, but what does their draft really excel at here? And that's where I'm trying to have trouble. I feel like the mid-game team fights, they don't really have an advantage. Pushing, they have a slight advantage, but Leviathan can siege up or defend very well. You've got the defensive swap, you've got Lina who can hold high ground, and Disruptor, amazing at those defensive plays. So time will tell as these lanes start to settle down. No invade from Leviathan this game.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. Not the early invade we see normally from Leviathan. Maybe based on their picks, they're going to do it a bit different. Oh, an early sentry. He actually is scouted by this, but he's just inside the trees. They are on the prowl. They looking.
Want him. Oh, they see him.
Oh, now they see him. Oh, Jenkins looking to hide in a corner right here.
He's
they
out of
do get the
range now.
dagger, but it's a bit awkward here from both sides. They get a second sentry committed for this. And Jenkins has got to find a way out. He pops down the web, and they even have a dust. So much hate for your spider early on. They are looking to punch the hell out of him, and it could be a quick first blood, and it will be.
Oh, down bottom, though. There's a skirmish at the Rune. Relic and Mike, they really want it. Shredder will start throwing some axes at Relic, who does secure the bounty rune for his team. A great start for Wheel. They get a bounty rune at the bottom. The bounty rune up top is still unclaimed, and they claim a first blood, though. I feel like Jenkins looks at that and goes, okay, so you burned 2 of your early sentries and early dust. At best, that is a break even.
This is the best thing you got to do against a Brood, though. Cannot allow him to have an easy time and try to get to that level 6. So you got to punish this Brood Mother early on.
And the Brood just put down a sentry ward trying to get some control back. They stunned him and hexed him, killed it before he could finish off this sentry. And now this Brood is at a pretty big disadvantage.
Yeah, this is a tough start. And where I almost was thinking that they could have considered the aggro try to go against the Spectre and maybe go toe-to-toe and have Jenkins work with a solo safe lane, but then you kind of have a Brood against a Clockwork, and that could be a bit awkward, but it is very apparent that it's going to be a bit of a struggling start here for Jenkins on the Brood Mother, and he'll have to try to make the best of it. But your mid lane matchup now is Shibby and the Lina once more, going against Relic, and a bit of a throwback here with your Death Prophet. And she had to chew through an early shared tango. It looks like she got some extra tangos either flown out to her or just kind of had them on hand, and she'll try to
flew them out.
Yeah. So she'll get that extra bit of regen to work with to try to get back. This is the longest I've seen one of the bounty runes from the start not get picked up. In fact, I don't even think it's going to get picked up at all.
I don't think so. That's a value bounty rune just going out the window here.
Unless they get there early, and they'll get a double rune.
Yeah, I'm still surprised to see this Death Prophet being picked, though. She does not feel like a particularly strong hero right now, partially since the pushing meta has been nerfed, but the big problem is that ultimate. It's on a super long cooldown now of a minute or 145 seconds. Over 2 minutes, about on point with that Ravage, and part of the same reason Tide's kind of fallen off is because you can fight around his ulti so well. Now when teams know it's on cooldown, that's when the opposition will get on the aggressive and just punish the Tide, and there's just not much he can do. He doesn't have that ultimate, and DP is the same way. Just a couple of whiffed ultimates in the early game. You either use it prematurely and get killed, or you get jumped from behind. That's a cooldown that you can't afford to waste, and there is, I feel like, a lot riding on Relic here to make every early exorcism count.
Both of these supports for Wheel have been dedicated to make sure they can make this Brood's life as miserable as possible in the early game. Jenkins was able to at least throw together level 2. As, you know, you see like Goody, who just gets level 2 on his Lion. Their supports are trying to throw it all together, but they have definitely created a bit of space for Sleesel to have a good head start. The double bounty rune in that top lane was picked up from Relic, which got him to level 4, so that's a pretty sweet bonus for him.
There's some recovery. Yeah, he was starting to fall behind just a little bit. No, that actually levels it out. They're dead even.
That was a 100-100 bounty followed by a 50-50 bounty, so that's pretty fun.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it looks like stacking duty here for the other Leviathan group as Flying Zebra will get started right there. Building up an early start here could potentially be for your Troll Warlord or maybe your Brood to kind of catch up with.
Yeah, and rotation mid is Nushi. Gets hidden up in the trees here, tucked into that little cranny, waiting for Relic to venture a bit far forward. Rocket Flare does come out, trying to scout things, and will not find Nushim. Both offlaners really in Strug City here. Look at all these. Look at Jenkins. He's in the trees right now. There's a Sentry Ward down.
They're going to make a go on the
isolated.
Relic, though. They get the magic missile and the stun and the auto attack.
So 1 for 1 around the map. DP dies mid, and up top they do kill the Brood Mother as Jenkins tries to TP out.
Okay. Simultaneous action. One
That's
for
good.
one from each side, but that's an offlaner to go down, and your Spider still trying to get to level 3. This is a real rough start for him, but
Mike's only level 3 himself, though. Now,
That's
finally able to get a little experience. He has 2 last hits. So even though Jenkins is getting very little done, the disparity is the deaths, of course. So it is a disparity nonetheless, but neither offlaner really excelling at much this game.
well, the thing is, though, is that the Spectre benefits a bit from being near that and getting involved with it. Your Troll now level 4.5, and if we look over at the Spectre, actually it's only 3.5, but that's because of the tri-lane and had to kind of send out that extra XP. But now Sleesel sees Jenkins come back, immediate dagger, Goody, Cask, all the stuns you could ask for. He's going to go down again. Jenkins going to be dropped. They just know exactly what's going to be happening with this Brood Mother, and they are not going to allow it at all.
The unfortunate thing for Wheel, though, is that it's the Witch Doctor that's gotten every single one of the kills. He's 3-0-0, a killing spree for him. So that increases the bounty on his head and, well, limits some of the farm that Spectre could be getting if he had gotten at least a couple of these kills. I think it's great if a support gets your first blood, but after that, you really want your carry trying to get these kills secured.
Yushim has been watching out this mid lane, looking for ganking opportunities. At the same moment, though, Relic stepped away to kind of build up a stack on the side for now. But now they're on the move. They're going to find him.
Oh, they're going to find Relic again. Oh, they scouted out. Okay.
Get the wave. Oh, Shockwave comes out. A little bit of assistance from your local Seder.
They were not expecting to find the DP there. Nushim was just not quite ready to throw out that magic missile. But this domination up top has not come for free. They've kept these 2 supports dedicated up here, and they've completely shut down Jenkins. But mid lane, turning a little disastrous for the Dive side.
Mike goes toe-to-toe. Shredder. Yeah, they just kind of make fisticuffs there, and it's Shredder, obviously, the troll, getting the best of that fist fight.
But look at mid. Shibby's free-farming. He's about to kill this tier 1 tower. DP just relegated to the jungle. She's got a double stack here to work on. I mean, that's nice. That's some recovery farm, but coming at a really grave cost. And we saw what Shibby did last game with an average amount of space. Here, he's having a great start.
Curious to see how he's going to be able to really utilize that. Maybe after, if he's able to secure that tier 1, he could look to go on an expedition to put that Lagoon in a strong use.
Go out on a limb here and say he's going to get a fast Yules.
Yeah.
Whoa, watch out.
He's going to look to head back. I mean, the nice thing here for Wheel, I know you talked about how Witch Doctor was the one to kind of bring in, as he does deny that mid lane tower, all that early bit of extra boost from the kills. I mean, it doesn't hate, and it's not too bad if Witch Doctor gets early farm. It's just a nice little head start if you want to get the luxurious Agnum Scepter.
Definitely not bad.
But now that he's rotated away from this top lane, Jenkins, it's a little pressure relieved. He's still just level 3 and trying to get a Soul Ring. You'd be hoping by now, playing a Brood Mother, that this is when you kind of have all your essential tools and a couple of levels, and you can start going to work with your little Broodlings, but has not been easy, obviously. So it's been put on hold for now, and
where you just damage control. Jenkins is just saying to himself, just don't die, good buddy. Just don't die. And he will connect the webs. Meanwhile, in the mid, though, Death Prophet, that was a quick one. Yeah, you blink and you'll miss it as Venge sets it up. And we see the first Laguna Blade come out. Now in the bottom lane, Mike in some trouble, gets glimpsed back. The kinetic field is there. Shredder will get stunned up, but a few more axes will find the kill on Mike. They take him down through the Voodoo Restoration. Now the Witch Doctor on the run, and with those boots, he will be able to make it back to safety. And another series of kills for Leviathan. One in the bottom, one in the mid. And things looking a little bit better for this Radiant side. Now pulling into the lead by about 2k net worth and 3k experience at only the 7-minute mark.
Yeah. Still very early here. Jenkins seeing all these rotations now coming out from Wheel. He starts to put to use here the Broodlings. Try to sneak in an occasional CS from time to time. Maybe add some pressure here onto Goody. But they'll simply just kind of bring down the Broodlings, get that extra bit of farm for themselves. And Sleesel, man, looks like he's already got the phase boots complete as, yep, Shibby.
I gotta help you out here, KotLGuy. I caught that one. That was, I mean, again, these are kills that shouldn't really be happening. This is Wheel not respecting the power of the Lina. That's Witch Doctor just casually hanging out in the mid lane. He denied the tier 1 tower, and not that dangerous. Lina just walks by, hits him with a spell, and click, click, click. It's a dead Witch Doctor. You can't square up against this hero early on.
That's what I hate about these kind of heroes. They just annihilate heroes so quick that I can't even get there in time to figure out what the hell actually happened.
They juice you pretty quick.
Jenkins now getting tied up here with Sleesel. Oh, jump in. Nice dust. Jenkins in trouble. Yeah.
Jenkins down. And again, the support gets the kill.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, it just doesn't stop here as they're both very low. Death Prophet pops out the Exorcism. Meanwhile, Shibby gets a kill on the backhand side. We see a slaughter as both the Disruptor and the Troll go down. Sleesel commits the haunt. Gets some good cleanup right there. 7 to 6. It's Wheel who get the best of it right there, though.
It is the Spectre that comes out big, but the Death Prophet, as we saw there, pops her ultimate, gets to use it for maybe 10 seconds or though, and then she just goes down, and once she's dead, there is just not much to be found, and that's now 2 minutes where she will not be looking to team fight with that ulti on cooldown. Now back in the top lane, Jenkins taken out by Goody on the Lion, and that Finger of Death. The bug zapper here as it turns the Brood Mother into goo.
0, 5, and 0 for Jenkins.
But yet another kill for the support.
Yep. It's a hard life right now, and look at this. Sleesel looks to commit onto Zebra, but could have been a bit of a bait, but then Witch Doctor suddenly shows up and keeps Shredder in check. Good cask RNG. Okay, good glimpse back onto the Sleesel, rather. And your Spectre, try to walk away. What a bash. What a bash, Lord. Are you kidding me? What a hero. Shredder. Shrugs that one off, walks away. All right.
The Troll. If he wasn't annoying enough, that RNG factor makes it even more sweet. You know that's a 1 in 10 chance, and when you find bashes like that, oh boy, does it feel good. Because you know whoever got bashed is just smashing that keyboard going, God damn Troll. Son of a bitch. Mid lane, IX Mike set up by the Yules. It's a laser to the face. It's a dead rattle trap, and the kills just keep on coming.
Please, Shibby, come on. Can you at least give me a heads up if you're going to do something like that?
Well,
how many kills have I missed from just Shibby?
Well, he's got 5, so I'm going to go with 5.
4. Probably 4 is a good number. My God.
They smoke up here in the mid, and Shibby, he's almost level 11. Death Prophet, only 8. That's what the difference has come here. In the smoke, they're not going to have a Laguna, but I don't even think they need it. Yules into the LSA, into the Dragon Slay, bada boom, bada bing. That's another dead relic, and the Death Prophet, she going to be dead.
I see you, Shibby. I got that one. Don't worry about it, but... Attention towards top lane now. Jenkins back, still trying to find his way. Does have the soul ring here as he creeps in and out of your woods. Now actually having assistance for the first time this game. Now got Nusham by his side. And Sleesel, who has kind of rotated up here after that engagement on the bottom. Not feeling quite as comfortable. A couple of these Leviathan crew missing from the map. They see this nice little side stack here, and they're going to be working with that. And slowly but surely, Jenkins building up that little Broodling army, getting a bit more comfortable. Suddenly now level 6, at what felt like he was stuck at level 3 for so long. Now they're going to be able to push on forward and take down this tier 2, it looks like.
Yeah, him and Mike, it feels like the Brood has really been feeding it up this game, but he's 0 and 5. Mike is 0 and 4. Both offlaners battling for the bottom here in terms of net worth. And this tower will help things out. If they can find the last hit. It's denied by the Lion. Haunt is deployed. Sleesel reality to the front lines, but Shibby has Laguna. He turns, drops the hammer on the Dark Lady. Now, Relic stuck inside of a Static Storm kinetic field. Can't get his ultimate off. He will be able to move out of it. Punishes the Disruptor. They've already killed the Lina, but now they lose Lion. Relic, one hit from death. Nusham, I'll bring him down. Goody as well. There's only one left. His name is IX Mike. but Shredder is on the hunt. Cogs will knock him back, but the swap to the other side of his own power Cogs, plus a bash to boot. Now the Kobold's getting into it, but, well, it's a 5-man wipe. Wheel with all 5 in the grave.
Mike had a really nice jump in there to help out and got the kill on the Shibby, and then there was a good couple of cogs that even forced Shredder to be rendered with no mana, but doesn't matter. You don't need mana to bash, I suppose, as he's able to still get a hold of him, and what a nice little swap right there at the end from Nushim to get him. And that was a level 1 swap. The range isn't that huge, but he managed to catch him on the other side of those cogs, so good quick reaction, and it's a bit of a fury there in the top lane, but it seems like when the dust settles, it's Leviathan who get the best of it. Shibby sees Sleesel's going to get a bounty rune, pokes him a couple of times, kind of let him know, hey, I see ya.
Leviathan pulling further and further into the lead with every fight. It feels like about 4K net worth, nearly 6K experience. Jenkins finally finding some recovery. He's at least working on power treads now, and the irritating thing about the Brood is, even when he's this far behind, if they take a 4v5 in one of the other lanes, Jenkins can still do a lot of rat play, push the towers, and still be very, very irritating.
Yeah, he's a bit concerned here as there was a lot missing. He'll just use his little army to farm on up. And, well, this is where your Brood Mother now looks to kind of do the objective that she's been set out to do ever since the draft. Usually just kind of create that space and be a real pain in the ass in this top lane for Wheel. Constantly kind of having someone come back up here,
hook mid.
Keep it in check, but yeah, the hook towards mid now. Mike making it go on to Shibby. Shibby, who has that Laguna, blasts the robot down, and Mike will be dropped. Man. Well, so he gets the most mileage out of this Laguna I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It's up. It's time to kill something.
And this is that point where the Lena's just so big, the hook shot is not what you want to do. You're up and close. Now Nushim, though, stunned on a Sleesel, but there will be a death ward from the high ground. They get a freebie onto the Vengeful Spirit. The rest of Leviathan on their way in, though. They want to try to fight this. Spectre does have an ultimate. Meanwhile, up top, Jenkins finds his first kill of the game, brings down the line. He'll try to TP out. Will he make it? It's a close call, but the bug lives, and they use a dust. Shredder, he's feeling brave. He just charges in. He finds Relic, hits him with some Mortling Axes.
Another one! Are you kidding me?
Oh my gosh,
this is ridiculous. Dashes. Now he mans up onto Mike and takes him down. Ladies and gentlemen, Troll Warlord.
Oh, this guy.
This is ridiculous.
Just wow. Now things are looking very rough for this Dire side. It was looking okay. They took a bad fight. It's still recoverable. This snowball's getting scary. Now a full SNY up on Shredder. Shibby closing in on that Aghanims and less than 1,000 gold after this tower. He even gets the last hit on the tower. And then you look at Sleesel on the Spectre, and his farm is admirable, but just doesn't compare to this Radiant set of cores. He's just on Phase Boots Aquila. Now bottom, swap from Nushi. Follow-ups here from the Lena, the burst damage, and the lasers to follow. They get a freebie on the Spec, and oh, this is one of those games when, if you're the Lena, you're just loving life. It's just kill after kill.
Yeah, really raking it in nice and quick, and that's almost an Aghanims now complete. About, what, 200 gold? Less than that now, about 100 left. As soon as she clears out this wave, that is going to be even a scarier laser. Mid lane, though, Relic, Glimpse, already on cooldown, probably was set up prior to that. But they continue to add the pressure there. Back on bottom once more, though. Can't keep your eyes off this action. Shibby does go down. Nushim could be next here and will be next. It's going to be a 2-man grab right there from Wheel.
Okay.
They needed that one because it was looking pretty grim. From top to bottom, they were being taken advantage of. And, well, speaking of the top, Jenkins. Now, this is where your Brood Mother just really, really wants to be able to sneak into that high ground and just really poke at that tier 3.
Yeah, that's a solid 2K net worth gain there for Wheel. They end a killing spree streak on the Lena, so not so bad as Troll pressures that tower in the mid lane. Overall, though, still a lot of problems for this Dire side. IX Mike gets his first core item. It is a Blade Mail. I think a great item in this game, given how much burst damage has come out. If he can get maybe a little bit lucky, catch someone off guard with a good Blade Mail time, return a Laguna, that could be big, but that's kind of the only item they've found since we've last checked in. Blink Dagger on the Lion.
The problem is that now this Brood has top lane. And when she can't push out the top lane, she just sidesteps and works in the jungle. And that was supposed to be Wheel's jungle. This is where Wheel are supposed to be farming. But now they got to kind of push this lane out, and they got to kind of clear out their jungle, and that's what they do now. The Exterminator is out in full force, and they want to get Jenkins here, and they will. And a jump in from Mike as he goes for Zebra. Zebra tries to glimpse him back, but he gets locked in place as the battery assault does tick away. Disruptor will eventually go down. 2-for-1 trade as the Yules will throw up derp derp, and it looks like Wheel will just take it for what they got.
All right.
They commit this sentry ward for it, but I'm not sure if that sentry actually blocks the camp too. It's a bit close.
I think that one should. That's pretty close, but
it's not good to block out your own camp though. But I guess to prevent Brood from either taking in, or they just desperately need that bit of vision.
I think worth it to kill the Brood. Leviathan getting a little bit comfortable here. They are throwing away some of that lead they picked up. They need to be a little bit careful. These 2-for-1s are scary because of that rubber band mechanic, and also they weren't that far ahead. They're far enough that they could use that momentum to really have a strong mid game, but you don't want to get too comfortable against the Spectre, who's closing in on a relic. Sleesel with 3,700 gold has it right around the corner, but Leviathan will group up in the bottom and take out a tier 1 tower. So still putting the pressure on, but they need to tighten up a little bit here, KotLGuy. It's not over yet.
So of the two supports here for Leviathan, it's Nusham who's going to take more of the gold, and he's going for a mechanism. Don't see a mechanism every day on your bench of Spirit, but they feel they need the extra bit of sustain, and there's no other real candidate, so he's going to be the one to do it.
Definitely a sign they want to keep up the aggression, though. Great skirmishing item, of course, as they take out 2 towers bottom. They get the tier 1 as well as the tier 2. Dire side still have not claimed a tower of their own. I feel like Jenkins is really making a lot of space, though. You look at that mini-map, and there are 5 heroes of Wheel just kind of cruising around on the webs trying to find Jenkins, and he's just going from top to bottom, left to right, anywhere he can to, oh, yup, you're on me? Okay, all right, I'm going to back out, and he's doing a good job showing himself just enough so they think they can catch him, and then making it away. Even if he gets picked off a time or two in doing this, if he can distract all 5 of Wheel while his teammates push towers, I think that's valuable space created.
Wheel need to get something done, it feels, and they smoke up, and they're going to head right towards Leviathan's side. Oh, they're going to see Zebra here. Desperation, Static Storm, and Kinetic Field. The Haunt comes out as well, but they get a support trade. The Laguna flies out from Shibby, and now a committed move from Sleesel. Nice catch right there from Mike, gets the hook shot, and they make it a double kill for Sleesel. So if that's what you wanted to get out of your smoke gank, you're good to go. And yeah, now it's Jenkins getting a bit of redemption from the early laning phase as he is able to take down Derp Derp. So a trade on the other side.
2 for 2 across the map. That does benefit the Dire whenever you're behind. An even trade is good news for you. Usually gives you a little bit of a net worth edge, so that's not too bad. Maybe one of their bigger problems is this Death Prophet. We're 20 minutes in, and look at Relic's inventory.
Yeah.
Phase Boots, Bracer,
not even
Null
a Yules. It's like, it looks like he's trying to throw together a drums at this point.
And he may be pulling up for the Yules, but even at this point, it's just... This is a really tough game for this Death Prophet, who is... very slowly on the road to recovery. They'll rotate, and Relic, you better head for the hills, buddy. Okay, he'll be safe, and now maybe things could start to turn around for Wheel. You have a Radiance on the Spectre. She's still very squishy, but at least they've got some damage, and with a well-timed Haunt, they might be able to keep finding the jump on Leviathan.
Well, for Wheel, it's a hard time right now. You don't feel that comfortable moving into your own jungle. You kind of need to put together a posse, if you will, to kind of get in there and either exterminate like Mike is doing right now. He does get a nice jump in onto Jenkins.
Oh, right next to a sentry, no less.
Okay, yeah, you're not going anywhere. Not with battery sold out. Now Goody jumping in, gets a good finger, and your Brood Mother will go down. So it's expeditions like that you need to go on if you want to be able to get that part of the map back.
Leviathan might get Roche off this. So again, this space created, it's an overused phrase for sure, but I think this is a great example of it, where, yeah, you kill the Brood, and they even scout out the Roche with the rocket flare, and then they realize, oh, well, we can't get there fast enough. It's a Troll Venge, and Brood for an Aegis? I think Shredder at least is happy with that.
Certainly so. And that's when things get a bit scary here. Leviathan, about a 5,500 gold lead. Net worth, as far as XP, about the same. I don't know. I'm thinking what the plan B could be here for Wheel. Do they look to just kind of stall it out? They probably just have to accept the fact that they're going to be losing all their outer towers, prep for a high ground defense, and just hope that Sleesel on the Spectre can be a real problem into the late game. Does have the Radiance, and about 1,300 gold. And if we touch base here with Leviathan and their support staff, Disruptor's only 891 life. He's going to have a real hard time with this Spectre. I mean, you could Insta-Glimpse, I guess, out an Illusion to help out, but outside of that, the mechanism will certainly be there now from Nusham. That helps. But, you know, it is a haunting Spectre after all, and you got to consider the dispersion.
I mean, Wheel have started this road to recovery through guerrilla warfare for the most part. They've constantly found these 2v1s, 3v2s, these little skirmishes where they've always had the numbers advantage. I think once Leviathan decide they want to force a 5-man fight, they can focus Relic. That's where things get a lot more tricky for Wheel. If they can keep getting the jump on Leviathan, they can grind their way back into this, but they still don't really have that team fight advantage, and a lot of it's on the DP. If she can survive the entire duration of her ult, it's huge damage, but as soon as she uses that exorcism, Leviathan will just pull the trigger and there will be a target, a bounty on her head, if you will.
Oh, swing and a miss from Mike on that hook shot, trying to get Jenkins. Oh, they get the dust. Jenkins temporarily stuck on the high ground, but then moves down to the low ground here. Thinking about making it go on the Lion.
Baiting him out, perhaps. The rest of his team on the way. There is a dire creep on the high ground there. It reveals Leviathan moving on over, and well, they didn't have too much vision in that area. And unfortunate for Leviathan that there was that little creep there to give high ground vision. If not, they might have been able to catch one. Yules is now up on the Death Prophet, though, so at least Relic is finding its first core item. Now can move a little more quickly, and has that reset. Tool Shredder comes in. Okay, just poking at the tower.
The thing is like, I don't mean to really harp on anyone, but the Death Prophet just feels a bit lackluster. I mean, you're looking at a tier 1 tower. Mid lane still up, bottom just finally got taken down now, but I'm not seeing like a Swarm and Exorcism able to break through these structures and kind of go from objective to objective like we've seen from the golden days of Death Prophet.
Leviathan are just going to split push this. They've got 4 in the mid, Shredder tanking the tower, still about 2.5 minutes left on the Aegis, and meanwhile up top, Jenkins is clearing out the creep wave. He'll be moving into tier 3 territory pretty soon. Looks like Spectre will come in. There's a haunt to get this fight started. They go on to Nusham with the finger. There's your ulti from the DP. IX Mike, though, he gets manned up on by Shredder. He's got a BKB on. They kill Relic as well, and this is the problem. Finger, not a finger. It's a Laguna, rather, onto the Spectre, and this is just disastrous for Wheel. Now Derp goes down. The glimpse back onto the Lion. It's going to be a full 5-man wipe. A 1 for 5.
No Aegis even used from Shredder either. This is easy high ground push. If anyone has a buyback, yeah, they'll get it out.
But no haunt. So what's a Spectre going to do here? He's got no stats.
Oh my God, this is just
no glyph either. Oh no, this is
Rex.
1 lane of barracks.
2 possibly.
Probably 2.
Oh, God.
It should be 2. If Roche was up, they'd probably go for that, but Shredder with an Aegis, he doesn't care that he's low HP. It still has plenty of time, about 90 seconds. They'll clear out the creep wave, and they might not get the 2nd lane of barracks completely, but I think they'll at least go for the tower. Jenkins hangs around mid, he gets the ranged barracks, and there's your tier 3 turn to rubble.
Well, they want a Rax, or they were thinking about it. Now they'll see the TP coming out there from Witch. And okay, good catch from Mike. Flying Zebra might have to be the one sacrifice. Will be. Jenkins is like, this is my home now. Trying to place down a couple of webs and really be in their face. But we're getting bits of lag, and I've been experiencing the lag as well.
Me too. I assumed it was just me.
No, no. During that team fight, there definitely was some hiccups. So hopefully things will look to settle down. But, whew, okay. Let's take a moment to reflect, or not, as they just hope it was a little bit of a hiccup. We'll just keep going here. Okay, fair enough. Well, the damage has been done, Andrew, as they wipe out the mid lane set of racks. They take down that tier 3 on the bottom, and with now even more room for this Spider to just kind of claim, it's never going to be easy now for Wheel to kind of break out from the base.
I mean, this game is one of many that exemplifies why Troll is such a terrible hero to play against. He's just so good. The laning stage, he's great. He's got blinds and slows, big damage. Mid-game, all he needs is a BKB, maybe an HOD. Now he's got a Blink Dagger, and hey, he can do big damage. We're only 25 minutes in, and you look at his damage output in that fight relative to the Spectre, and it's just completely lopsided. Spectre, although now starting to come online, still at that stage where there's a lot of farming to be done, and she's still so squishy. Just Yasha, Radiance, Phase Boots. She's got a lot of swords, but not a lot of armor. And once the reality is done and the haunt is expired, that's pretty much it. She can't really go man mode on anyone in this, except for the supports, I suppose.
Yeah, it would be nice for Wheel if the Witch Doctor had enough gold thrown together that they can maybe get an Agnum Scepter. That'd be a good comeback. Lion apparently also trying to go for an Ag Scepter, as he does have the point booster. I could see where it could really help out. Definitely helps clearing out like this big spiraling army quite a bit. But yeah, they definitely need to find a way to put the tools together, because it's going to be pressure from here on out from Leviathan, as now they smoke up this trifecta in the mid lane.
They want to have a go here.
They have the Laguna. Meanwhile, Troll.
This is smart. They're going to bait with Shredder. He's the tankiest one. They put a Yules onto the clock. We're going to set up from the low ground. They've got vision on Mike.
Uh-oh.
But Lion comes in. That'll save him for now. Swap back. Said they just dropped the Laguna onto the Lion. Now Relic comes out with his ultimate on. They've already lost 2 of their cores. Mike as well as Goody. And this will essentially be a wasted exorcism. Now Leviathan, they see it, and they're happy with their 2 kills. They force a buyback on Mike and just retreat.
They're just like, okay, Jenkins, get back to the top lane. Continue to pressure there. If she wants to go up there with the exorcism, that leaves the other lanes free, and Nusham's going to help pressure in from the bottom.
And Haunt was used, Hook Shot, as well as the Death Ward. All of the Dire ultimates are on cooldown except for the Finger. This will now be a pretty difficult siege to stop. They also don't have a glyph for another minute 15. Leviathan seem pretty aware of these timings, and seems like they want to get out of this game.
It's just clear that Leviathan know they have the power advantage right now, and they do not want to let it up. And while they can do this, they are just going to keep Wheel inside the baselines, herded like sheep, so they can't go out there and graze, or whatever the hell the sheep do.
Oh, they graze.
I know cows do, but I wasn't sure.
Any animal that eats grazing is just slang for eating grass.
All right, well, sorry. I'm not big on eating grass, apparently.
Any herbivore out there is probably a grazer.
All right, well, they can't graze. They're stuck inside.
They're just trying to notch
pooping all over themselves or anything. They just can't. And now they lose 1 Rax on the bottom. Melee now in jeopardy here. Shredder.
In come the spiders.
Just kind of goes to town, and this is going to be your second Rax.
I mean, they're just going to watch it fall. No Haunt, no Exorcism. How do you defend like that? You know, you jump on the troll, he's just going to BKB and get right up in the face of whoever's foolish enough to square up with him. And now they are 1 lane away from Mega Creeps, and I think certain defeat. Derp initiated on by Jenkins. Hookshot will come out. BKB from Jenkins used. He'll just TP home. That's a 10-second BKB charge, but
it's not a kill.
Yeah.
And we'll have to go back to their defensive lockdown position here.
Look at Shredder just bullying Sleesel. He doesn't kill him, but
forces him away.
That's like Spectre has to dagger, has to go to the low ground. If you're at a spot there that doesn't have a ledge, that could be a death. Shredder, he just threw out some axes and just auto-attacked him. I mean, that cost him nothing.
I wonder how he felt when Troll just kind of suddenly came into the spotlight, you know? If he's like, oh, I don't want people to kind of be hopping on my Troll. Or if he's just really happy that he gets to do stuff like this. Obviously very comfortable with the hero. Putting in some absolute muscle power, and you know, maybe obviously some credit. Leviathan moving into the gamer house in Florida.
Yeah, it definitely makes a difference. Once you're at that point where you're living with your team and you start to know each other a little better, that's when you start to work through the hard stuff. You sit down, you've got everybody there. There's no excuses for losses. You can really study replays. I'm not surprised to see this team looking a little bit more fit. It seems like their communication is just on a slightly better level, where their movements are very concise, and you know, the solo pickoffs are more like when the Brood is doing a 4+1, not that kind of, I wonder what he was doing out there. It didn't seem like they were talking there. They seem very concise the way they want to move around the map. Roshan up in about a minute, so they may just want to be patient here and wait for that next Aegis before they try and high ground siege that final lane of barracks.
Yeah, Leviathan are one of those teams. They put it all out there. Their players stream. They show their scrims. They show their in-game communication and what they have with each other. And for Wheel, you know, this is a team, and we were boasting a lot about them at the start of the series and the start of the draft. They're very individually, very talented players, and they've been playing together for quite a while now. They're not able to really make it happen here, as they just try their best to defend here. It's match point for Leviathan, rather. They are to go down. They will not be out of the Summit 3, but they will be forced into the lower bracket. They don't want to be in that position, though, so the comeback is something they're looking to shoot for here.
Now your Blink Dagger up on the leaner, so Shibby has a little more extension to his reach and can find those initiations that much easier now. Shredder tanking up the Roche, and this should be uncontested. Only Roche number 2, so no cheese yet. But per usual, Rocket Flare comes in just a little too late, and he drops his SNY. And that's a full Scotty now on the Troll also. Ugh. Not only does he have a second life, but, well, a little more utility to his name than that last fight. Probably also worth mentioning that Relic did get another core item. He did go Shadow Blade next. A bit atypical, but I like it in this situation. I don't think it's been revealed yet. Maybe it has through creeps in the mid lane, but LVT, they'll need to be prepared with dust and a gem or something on the like, and they don't have any detection yet. So that could be a scale tipper in this next exchange if they don't find some sort of detection before then.
A big, strong defense here from Wheel certainly would help. and just trying to break out from the baseline because they are just 1 racks away from Mega Creeps. And with this troll picking up the Aegis, that's the ticket. That's the ticket to move in and try to close this game out. And with still plenty of time, 9 seconds on his BKB.
Yeah.
That's very scary.
Yeah, and they will group up and try and do this right. Wheel, they smoke in their base. They'll go for a wraparound play here, it looks like. Spectre pushing out the bottom, ready to haunt in as they go in. Here's the wraparound. Is it enough, though, Dakota?
We'll have to see here. There's the jump. Mike gets the catch in and the haunt to fly out thereafter. Zebra going to be in trouble, but they also lose Mike as Shredder will be able to help cleaning him out. The Exorcism trying its best to do the work. Shibby's able to get the Laguna Blast and finishes off Sleesel. Out for a minute. Does have a buyback. Not looking to use it. Swap back there. Relic will go down thereafter. Shredder shredding apart Wheel.
He just cut him down. Now Derp isolated by Jenkins. No way the Witch Doctor survives this one. Shredder even joining the party. Oh, now the Lion blinks in. He finds a stun onto the Brood, but this death here will secure another full 5-man wipe. Yule's Scepter puts him up in the air, mitigates the stun from the magic missile, but it doesn't stop the burn from the light strike array coming out from Ms. Lena. Top lane of Barracks now under heavy assault. The only buyback we'll have available will be utilized, but it's just Sleesel. And again, he has no haunt. And in a 1v3 scenario, does he have the skills to pay the bills and keep his base alive? Shredder still with an Aegis. BKB didn't even use it in that fight. Still the 9-second charge. Trying to bait something out here perhaps as they kill the tier 3 tower. Now they go to work on the barracks. That'll be the end of your Aegis. Buys them a little bit of time. Sleesel doing a pretty good job here, but I think it's worth it from Shredder just to pop his BKB, even if it's the end of him. If he gets Mega Creeps, that pretty much secures the win. Melee barracks
man.
down.
Yep, this is it. He looks to man up here. Nice hook shot from Mike. Keeps the troll back.
Glimpse back onto Sleesel into a static storm. Kinetic field. It's a dieback for the Spectre. Now Shredder with no BKB pokes at the ranged barracks and says, maybe we want to wait and save it for another day. They've respawned. They come out of the base, and Nushi, he'll be the sacrificial lamb. You see him charging into enemy territory to make the space for his allies to get back to safety. Still, the damage has been done, and Leviathan get what they came for.
1 racks away from Megas here. Wheel got to be feeling pretty down at this point, and they actually will call the GG. So,
GG.
Just like that, Leviathan, they 2-0 Wheel. And this Wheel squad did take Tinker to 3-game series. Maybe Leviathan looking that good. But I also can't help but question. You got to remember all that attention they put on the Brood in that offlane. Now, don't get me wrong. They beat the hell out of Jenkins. I mean, it was like 0 and 5 at one point. I
think he got up to 0 and 7. It got pretty bad, but he really recovered. I mean, Jenkins got his head down, kept focused, and he ended that game 9, 7, and 6. Had a BKB, and the thing about Brood is even if you shut her down early on, he can still leech that XP, and we saw most of his recovery came from just picking off those supports. Someone like Lion, someone like Witch Doctor towards that late game. Insatiable Hunger, you're not getting away from that bug.
I just wonder that they put so much attention on the Brood, it's like maybe they just forgot about the Troll. I mean, when is enough that you just kind of like, okay.
How do you forget about the Troll in this meta, dude?
I know, it's just like, we really want to make sure this Brood doesn't do anything, so we will beat him down 5 times straight if we got to, but that means that those supports aren't really looking to venture elsewhere. Actually, now that I think about it, they did make a gank happen on bottom, but ultimately the Brood got to go to work in the top lane, and Shredder just found a lot of good bashes.
That game looks like a terrible match from Jenkins, but honestly, he did his job. He made space for his troll to get massive. He pulled so much attention. They bought so many sentries and dusts and all this other kind of stuff. That adds up. When you have a hero like Witch Doctor on the other team, that's money that he wants to be spending on an Aghanim Scepter, an item that could maybe help you win these team fights in the mid-game, make more space for your Spectre. Instead, he gets crippled, and I mean, how many wards did they buy that game? It just felt like there was sentry. Even the initial kill, they used 2 sentries and a dust before the creep spawned. So they came prepared, but in the end, it was Leviathan.
Yeah, so now with that win, Leviathan get to move on forward. They are going to now be facing Not Today, who did best Void Boys earlier today, 2-0. And, well, it's not over yet for Wheel. They are going to be moving down to the lower bracket, and I think they will also be meeting up with the Void Boys, that means, as they drop straight down in the bracket.
I believe so.
I believe so.
I think that's how it works.
We'll have to look into that one. But that does wrap things up today with your Summit 3 America Qualifier Phase 2. We'll be back tomorrow, both of us again, hopefully starting right at the start, and we'll get to take care of both of those series.
Yep, I certainly hope so. We'll be on America all week, so we're going to see this phase 2, I think, from start to finish. From front to ass, we're going to be here all the way. So hopefully you'll be here too. Same place, same time. Come on back and join us. That's it for day 1 of phase 2 for Summit 3 America.
All right, everyone, take care. Enjoy the rest of your Dota. Bye.